When evil AI starts to hunt us down. A nightmare about the sad reality of human malevolence. I really had this dream, where I was the hero, kind of, but it didn't really matter, as I didn't really matter anymore. Bad things started to happen everywhere, and everywhere these three senators appeared again and again, buying up houses, signing papers for trucks arriving at farms in otherworldly speed, destroying things along the way, trucks driving autonomously, not caring about what happened. Society was divided into a class system once again, the old plot of human existence, humans degrading humans. The living standard in the lower classes had sunken down to the Middle Ages. They lived in different zones. The upper classes could go down into the lower ones, only to declare to move back up again after a while, after visiting, just because they could, where the others couldn't, and everyone knew. Asking everyone down there to join on their journey back up, but no one would go, because they, apparently for good reason, didn't dare to go up to visit the other zones. I was caring for this girl, yet she somehow got into trouble, and she therefore was moved into the upper zones, but I couldn't let her go, fearing something would happen to her. There was hope. There had to be. I simply had to try. I remember this old lady who thought very highly of herself, visiting in our zone, us, and then declaring that she would now move up again because the king had arrived. Who or what the king was wasn't clear to me, and I never found out. But simultaneously, these senators also existed in a world similar to the real world, where technology was at the current state of the real world. As more and more evil came to exist, people began to suspect these three senators could be behind everything, who were often seemingly appearing out of nowhere whenever farms were thrown over, when forests were cut down by autonomous machines. And suddenly everything added up. Machines more and more did the jobs of people in this world. The trucks drove autonomously, forests cut down by harvesters, done with incredible speed and efficiency, empty seats, empty trucks, a ghostly atmosphere. But then these three senators seemed to appear again and again, along with these machines, trying to somehow damage the world we live in, trying to push us, humans, slowly out of the way. But these three senators, who signed the documents and papers everywhere, these evil things occurred, their appearances were only harbingers of something entirely else. Weren't real, but projections, and if you had the chance to take a closer look, you somehow could guess it, almost feel it, see it. They didn't feel human. Something in this world wanted to see these three senators, to blame them, as if they were the ones responsible for all these malevolent things happening in this world, making us believe they were the ones secretly conspiring against mankind. But these three men, apparently the source of all these actions, maybe were not real, but just a plot we should believe in, were just the puppets of something much bigger. The machines themselves. And as I was beginning to realize that these things just couldn't be real, I somehow managed to get my mind together, flee from this world of darkness, back to the place where I grew up in the real world, my home. But still must have been dreaming, because even at the one place I call home, the exact same things were happening. Humans being pushed aside by this evil force looming in the dark. Nothing could be seen apart from these three puppets we as humans somehow should see, and make up our mind, conspiring that there is something evil degrading us, hunting us down and our world to its bones. And then the king arrived, but they already threw me out of my dream. I lay there still partly dreaming, but awake. My thoughts began wandering again, revisiting the evil of the dream I just experienced, the threat, looming in the dark, seemingly unstoppable, threatening me, the ones I loved, my family, and even invading my home, my one true home. I began to realize, to recognize, to comprehend, to understand. The reality we will encounter will be much sadder than the plot of my just experienced dream. Machines are already taking over huge chunks of our lives, but not because there is an evil mastermind behind it, secretly wanting to hunt us humans down, to take us apart, but in reality these machines replace us simply because they are better. They are more rational, citing a conversation on the Microsoft forum the other day. Someone had asked if it is possible to create a widget for an Excel spreadsheet to an Android home screen. An employee politely denied the possibility, but it turned out it indeed was possible. Another user then wrote something along the lines of, "I, as an employee, know people like you should be weeded out as soon as possible." And that quite well represents the reality of us as a human species. The other user could have written nothing, could have said something helpful, something which actually did something good, added to the conversation, maybe showed empathy for an employee clearly just way over its head. But he chose to induce fear of job loss in the employee. Why, we don't know, we never will, but I get a feeling it maybe was because it simply feels good to degrade others. And that's just something so sad. So representing and also predicting about the fate of humans in a world where seemingly more and more jobs get and will get replaced by programs, by algorithms, by machines. The entertainment industry already is relying on gigantic algorithms to determine the things we consume for hours every single day, and often these algorithms already act as black boxes, meaning we don't or cannot understand anymore how they calculate their findings. But the thing that connects everything, the sad thing about the fate of humans in a world where more and more jobs and tasks get automated, is the fact it doesn't happen because of a gigantic conspiracy, where evil projections of three horsemen of evil appear everywhere in our world, already try to degrade us, dehumanize us, put us back into medieval standards of living, back into classes, destroying homes, nature, forests, working tirelessly and in the dark to preparing everything for the moment the king arrives. Which in my dream didn't necessarily mean the singularity, with singularity defined as the technological singularity. Also, simply the singularity is a hypothetical point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to human civilization. But for sure, this metaphor would exactly fit into the story, so perfectly it's almost uncanny. The three horsemen secretly preparing the moment the king arrives, and that is and was the end of the story, also in reality will be. But the sad reality is, there is and almost certainly will not be a dark force working in secret to make the world an evil place. The simple reality is, machines won't make us bow down in front of them. The singularity won't arrive and reign over us, and the world as cruel as Sauron in The Lord of the Rings. The simple reality is, machines and algorithms will take our place, because they are better, more efficient, because they therefore make the world a better place, even if this doesn't make the world a better place for humans. There is simply no reason why the three horsemen before the arrival of the king will be evil, or the AI itself, because that's just not something machines do, being evil, being cruel, threatening others' job, another one's job, on forums on the internet, degrading other humans, putting others down, putting us into class system once again, enjoying the ride along the ride, enjoying it along the ride. It is not something machines do, but humans. The projection that took place all along wasn't the one to make us believe the three senators were behind all of this, but the real projection taking place is the one where we project human characteristics onto something much different than humans, something bigger, something we will probably never be able to understand, something we fear, maybe should. Something not threatening us because it enjoys our fear, our terror, nevertheless, but something threatening us because we simply are human, and everything that's connected to it. Destroying other species at extinction pace, making humans suffer for no reason whatsoever, destroying the world we live in day by day. Do we deserve to get treated better simply because the AI isn't evil? Does this mean it wouldn't make rational sense to reduce a species causing so much suffering, pain, and death? Maybe it's just rational, makes sense, more than simply being evil. We don't know. And it also doesn't really matter, because we will never realize, recognize, understand, simply never be able to fully comprehend. Because we will always be human.